Page 348, Musette in D major. This is a Bach piece. I look it over, it's 2 pages long. There's 2 pages of music, but the whole thing is repeated, so it's actually twice as long. Treble bass clef, 2 sharps in the key signature, so it's either in D major or B minor. Now, if you look at the end, it's here. D major, do the scales in our pages for both. D major and B minor. 2/4 time signature, and we got 8th notes and 16th notes all over everywhere. So 1 E-enda, 2 E-enda, right hand, and again I want a fingering that lets me connect the notes if I can get it. Here, 1 E-enda, 2 E-enda, 1 E-enda. Well, isn't that fun? Going from measure 2 to 3, here to here. The articulation lets us get away with it. That is really, really tricky. It'd be much nicer if we could figure out a fingering to let us more or less connect that. So some other finger other than thumb would help. But if I do that, I gotta put the thumb here, and then here. But there isn't a lot of difference between here and here and here. Here, the hand is here, or the hand is here. Typically in this piece, we bite the bullet and just leave it on thumb. You practice it. You have to look down on it, of course, that's quite a leap. And we practice it. So it's 1 E-enda. And then you come back up. Okay, let's go to measure 9. After the repeat sign, it's here. Look up, lift up. I want to connect them. And then in measure 11, the last note, I'm going to put thumb on it because it's easier to cross over. 3. And now the fun part, measure 13. With all these accidentals, well, just take it slow and easy. And again, I want to connect the notes if I can. It's here, here, 2, scrunch up. This lets me connect it. And then here, you're going to have to lift up because I ran out of fingers. And then they want 4. Well, I'm on 4. That doesn't work. So I'm going to use a 3 to start, and then 3, 4. So I do that here, just to get me going. Because they're both black keys, you can do that. 2. And if you're going to use 2 there, measure 18, then you need a little finger on that E and there at the beginning. So it's 3, 2, 1, then 4. 2, thumb, crossover. So let's look at measure 19 again. It's here. I'm going to reach down and use a 2, 1, like in this position. And then cross over third, similar to the arpeggio. Yeah. Then you come back up like you were at the beginning. Okay. Left hand. Well, you got broken octaves. Just rotating here. But then again, measure 3, you got to come out. Well, that's not so bad because you're just up here. Because the right hand's got to come way down here, and we got to focus on that. So if you can get this where you can do it without having to think about it too much, it helps. But measure 4, I don't want to end on 5. I got to come down here. So I want to end on 1 on measure 4. I'm going to come back down here. I just coming back down. I just went up. I went down. And that way I'm in position. Yeah. Measure 8. You're here. Again, I don't want to end on 5 because when I repeat or go on, I'm out of position. So I'm just going to end on a 2. I think that's much easier. Just end on a 2. That way if you repeat, you're close to where you want to be. And if you go on, you're right there. Either way. So going on. Now measure 12. At the bottom of the page, you're here. Come down. I can't connect that. I'm not big enough. So just... And then you're in E's for a while. Measure 20. Again, I don't want a little finger because the next measure I got that note. So I'm just going to stretch out. So it's a 2. Now I can just reach down for the next one. So then I put the hands together and see what we get. And I'll hesitate, but that's okay. It's just here. See, having eighth notes in the left hand helps with the rhythm. Keep those steady and you get it. So just get ready here so I can come down here. And then go back up. Do it again. Okay. Let's go over to the fun part of measure 13. We're here. Ready to go on. I got right hand comes out, left hand's ready. So I work on that, and then I'll go back over probably a section at a time, or a phrase at a time, whatever. Work out the hesitations, keep it slow, no hesitations. And once I can do that, I'll add in the articulation. We have staccato, bump, bump, here. On these in the upper staff, those are slurs. Those are not phrases. So connect all of that together. You have to lift up now. Now on measure 3, different people will do this differently. You slur them. Technically, if they wanted that, they would have the slur go all the way to the next note. A lot of people will play it that way, but you can also just put in a little silence there. It's not short. It's not short like a short staccato. It's just disconnected. Yeah, that's what I would recommend. Measure 8. You hear? Linger on that. You don't need to stress it any. It's not a stress point. You just linger on it and then go on. Here, you can, if you want, separate these or connect them. You see, take a look at measure 14. The slur goes all the way to the C sharp. They didn't separate like at the beginning on measure 3. It goes all the way to that, so it's connected, of course. So I put in the articulation, and then I'll add the dynamics, and this is the right hand. Loud. Don't get too carried away with loud, but this, soft. Yeah. Measure 9, come down a little bit. And then on measure 13, now you're soft. Crescendo poco a poco means get a little louder. Crescendo, little by little. And in other words, you're going to keep slowly getting louder until you get to measure 19, where you're loud. You have to plan it out. If you don't, you'll be loud by measure 15. You'll be too soon. So how do we do this? Well, we kind of take it like a motif at a time, or a phrase at a time, or something. Your measure 13 is. So each time I do that, I get a little louder. So soft, a little louder, a little louder, a little louder. Now, it's almost like a measure at a time, almost, sort of like. Just a hair louder, just a hair louder. You need to save most of your crescendo for measures 17 and 18, especially measure 18. That's most of them. Remember, on a crescendo or diminuendo, it's not a straight line, depending on which way you're going. It's a little bit of change, and then toward the end, then it changes more. It's zoom. And the diminuendo is the same way, it's zoom. So save most of your crescendo for measures 17 and 18. But you can get a little louder. You're loud, back like you were at the beginning. Left hand just stays out of the way. And then the speed. Well, be gentle. because these 8th or 16th notes don't need to run. No, that's way out of context. Just 2, 1, 2. This says moderato, but what's moderato? Repeat signs. Remember that you're going to repeat everything. Okay. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. We're just going to do it. We will do the repeats. I'll do the staccatos and all that junk. I'll give us 2 quarter note counts, but because it's all 8th notes and 16th notes, I'm going to put the metronome on 8th notes. Ready, and go, and. Repeat. Go on. Repeat.